Hello, all of you. I'm Dr. Kavitha, Palaniappan, the Academic Director and Senior Lecturer at UON Singapore, which is a wholly owned entity of the University of Newcastle, Australia. Today, I'm going to share about my study related to workplace environment and its impacts on health and productivity in migrant workers. So when we say migrant workers, who are we referring to? They are adult workers who have left their home countries and gone to a different country for a living, and they are usually in non-local labor market. And most of the time, they don't have any intention to stay permanently in the host country. So why do these people migrate? From a migrant worker's perspective, it's mainly because of the high pay that they tend to get in a host country. Sometimes they want to escape from their family problems, and it is usually financial problems. And they may also want to learn new skills. So these are the three main reasons that a migrant worker moves from one country to another. Whereas if you look at it from a host country's perspective, they basically want to maximize economic benefits while at the same time minimize social and economic costs. And there are also certain bottlenecks that are created in labor intensive markets when they are not able to fill in positions using native workers or local workers, especially if it is low skill jobs. So that is when migrant workers are taken in to solve these structural bottleneck problems in labor intensive markets. And in order to be competitive in the international contemporary situation, countries have to take in migrant workers. That is also another reason. So where are these migrant workers generally employed? They are mostly found in the construction sector, manufacturing sector, and marine sector. More specifically, in the manufacturing sector, they are found in assembly-intensive industries which have a strong export focus. Apart from that, they are also found in agriculture, fisheries, domestic labor, and service industries. So when we say performance and productivity, there are two main effects, that is positive effects and negative effects. Positive effects are mainly seen with high-skilled migrant workers because they come in with a specialization, come in with good experience, and they have specialized skills which can contribute to an increase in productivity. Whereas low-skilled migrant workers, usually the effects are negative. But is there a way to improve that negativity? Yes, there is. So low-skilled workers' productivity can also be increased because basically they come in with very high levels of motivation, and they have good work ethos, and they can be trained on the job. It's just that they don't have the educational qualifications, but they can always be trained on the job. And apart from that, there are three main driving factors which can actually improve the productivity among low skilled workers. Those are physical work environment, social work environment, and job related parameters. So when we say physical work environment, it's basically lighting, that is good lighting facilities, the noise levels that are less than 85 decibels, a good air ventilation or good air circulation within the work environment, and extreme thermal conditions can also make situations bad. So good temperature around their workplace is also important. So these are physical work environment parameters which we could work on. Next is a social work environment. So when we say social work environment, having supportive supervisors and sympathetic colleagues who can basically listen to their problems and provide them some kind of advice and support in terms of need. Living conditions have to improve, especially in the working dormitories where it is cramped. Those living conditions need to be improved. And there are also a lot of cultural differences because when we say migrant workers, they come from different parts of the world, and hence they come in with different sets of cultural values. When those cultural values are different, that causes lots of problems among themselves, and this also leads to a loss or decrease in productivity. Next comes the most important one, the job related parameters. The workload, the shift work, sometimes it's rotating shift, sometimes it's irregular shift. So these could cause problems, long working hours and the pace of work. That means they have to speed up work. Overtime work, in many companies, overtime work is made compulsory. Low wages and job insecurity, that is whether they're going to continue or whether they will get a job after this project finishes, that is a problem. So these are the most important parameters which need to be looked at. So hence, if we are able to improve the work environment, namely the physical, social, and job-related parameters for our migrant workers, it would definitely have a positive effect on their health and in turn increase the productivity of our countries. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. These are my references. Thank you for your time.